Space Relations by Donald Barr is a book about a group of beings who control an entire planet, an elite group of beings who control an entire planet through child sex slavery. Little on the nose there for the guy who randomly hired Jeffrey Epstein and connected him with Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, I mean, don't ask too many questions or anything, but it's literally a story. The guy who founded the CIA and created the unified theory of government, which we call the deep state, it's literally his story. His obsession is an entire planet run by a group of elites, not by God, not by a church, not by people of faith, but by a group of bureaucratic elites that use child sex slavery to maintain power. It's right there in the book. You look it up yourself. I'm not telling you I'm not telling you anything that isn't publicly available. So in case you're wondering what these people believe, well, they are pride cometh before destruction. They'll put it down in words. They'll write about it in their spare time. They'll brag to you about what their dream is. Their dream is, isn't it effed up? Like Killer Klein's like, man, that is effed up. It is true. Isn't that insane? Yeah, okay. What are we dealing with these CIA agents? ALX, I'm gonna ask for one clip. Don't kill me here. 60 Minutes talks to Mossad, a Mossad agent. And this Mossad agent, who's undercover, right? He has his face shielded and his voice modulated. This Mossad agent says, no, you don't understand. The world's just a stage. And we are in control of that stage. The actors, the sets, the lighting. We do it all. It's all fake. It's a fake world. It's a wild clip. Leslie Stahl's doing the interview. Let's see if we can't get that. If we could get that to pass, I would love to play it. And either way, we can. There's plenty of quotes. For instance, Shakespeare is just a kind of a take on Shakespeare's quote: "The world is a stage. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players, and they have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, and his act being 7 ages." So what? Like the Mossad agent says, he pantomimes Shakespeare here, and he says, no, you don't understand. We literally set up a fake world. He's talking about the buying of pagers. Hamas bought these pagers and they blew them all up, right? Israeli intelligence blew up all Mossad. Something we haven't talked enough about here is that Bibi Netanyahu gave Trump a pager when he went to the White House. He got a golden pager. That was like his gift. I guess I guess they're just being pros. I don't know. Don't hit the button. Whatever you do, don't turn it on, please. I'm getting to something here. In the JFK documents, we see insight into how the CIA operates in this exact way. Here's Eric Weinstein. Let's go. Learning a lot, or maybe am I just getting confused? Am I all wrong here? Let me read to you the documents. Here we go. King Abdullah of Jordan. This is the Jordanian royal family. They still exist. We're on like King Abdullah III right now. He has a Jewish brother. His CIA agent. So the king has a CIA agent. Got it. Procured a Jewish starlet for King Hussein. Can this be right? The CIA built an entire set in the United States from a photograph of a room taken in Moscow. They hire actors and actresses that resemble foreign leaders and their female associates and shoot naughty short films in Los Angeles to make it look like the tryst took place in Russia and that they have secret video, a sex tape. Let's read. Surely Brett Weinstein, who's like actually, he's on Rogan a lot. I tend to enjoy some of his takes. I got nothing. What I'm saying is I got nothing against Brett Weinstein, and I don't believe that he's a crackpot, right? I don't believe that he's cuckoo pants. Here we go, from inside of the JFK release files. How'd they let this out, man? As a result, I was asked as well. As a result, I was provided with pictures reflecting the quarters, allegedly reflected the quarters of which she was assigned during his trip to Russia, photographs of the female agent, and I was asked if I could find some contacts in Los Angeles who could produce a set resembling the headquarters reflected in the picture. The woman who looked like the female agent and a male who looked like the leader. Take some pictures, subsequently showing them together within the confines of the alleged headquarters. Did you recruit anybody in this film? Oh, yes, I did. Oh, so it's like just Epstein before Epstein. So we're just making naughty sex tapes of world leaders that, well, did or didn't happen. Maybe they did happen and they're recreating it to say that they have photos of it. You would have to assume, okay, so here's what you have to assume. And we need to know more, but this is Weinstein saying they're using Hollywood magic to create fake sex tapes of a sexual encounter that they believe happened in Moscow in order to blackmail a world leader with a sex tape. Okay, it's a little on the nose here. Did the CIA provide the set for that? Or did you do a backdrop and all the business of making it look like it was in Moscow? Oh yeah, the CIA provided me with photographs and secured the services of the person in Los Angeles who was in the movie industry and working on behalf of the CIA. Got it! What? Okay. So you produced one film? One film consisted as a result, movie film? Yes, it was very short. Did you make still photographs or anything like that? Yeah. You turned the film over to the CIA? That's correct. What happened? Do you know what happened to it? No. What's being done with it? I don't know. I was told that the stills would be distributed to the country of the leader in an attempt to embarrass him, and I hope, hopefully as a result, remove what was considered to be a very serious threat to national security of our country. Dirty, 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 dirty. Nakedly diabolical. Whoa. We conspire, we fake, we attack reputations to topple world leaders, cheapen images, and we do it all to be completely untraceable. Totally diabolical. We destroy anybody who suggests that we are that. Our government is the gaslighter, and we are the gaslit. Ask yourself after reading the above, what are the odds that the people who operate like this may have interfered in our own 2020 U.S. election or been involved in any way to attempt the attempt on President Trump's life? Oh, that sounds like a conspiracy theory. Can't say that after reading this. Can't do it anymore. You sound like a complete idiot. Yo, okay, so like Eric Weinstein is not MAGA red-pilled. I think he's a Democrat, dude. Okay, he's like a Democrat. He's like an intellectual. Don't know a ton about his background. Just heard him on Rogan, that's all. It's like a dude that goes around on the podcast circuit. Love to have him on our show. But him straight up saying, like, wait a second, what are the chances that they actually created the conditions for Trump to get shot? That the entire Epstein op was, this is like the precursor to the entire Epstein op? This is bombshell stuff. This is insane. This is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, of course, it confirms exactly what we've been reporting on the show for a very long time. We can show you the boxes and boxes and boxes of documents. The boxes of documents that they took from Epstein. Yo. I mean, we have so much footage of that. We have unlicensed drone footage of the FBI raiding Epstein's island. And it's taking like two men side by side, an entire army of them carrying boxes of hard drives, photographs, technical equipment. Place was wired for sound. We have the photos from inside of his Manhattan apartment. Where the hell did all this go? The world's a stage, right? Create the conditions for the blackmail. How is this any different than what I'm reading from here in the 1940s? With a Jordanian leader banging so a Muslim, King Abdullah, banging a Jewish starlet from Hollywood. I mean, that would be clearly hugely scandalous, right? Inside of a 99% Muslim country on the border of Israel, you would assume that Photographs like that would provide some leverage if indeed it did happen. And that's what they're asserting here, right? Yeah. I don't think that that's halal, as they would say. So, whoa. What's the difference between this and the Epstein operation? There is no difference. There is no difference at all. It's the same thing. This is what I'm talking about when I say that there are actual bombshells in this. And don't listen to don't listen to the doomers saying, "Oh yeah, there's nothing in there." There's plenty in there if you're smart. Mike Benz will be joining the show tomorrow. Mike Benz has going through every single document right now in a deep dive, and he's going to be on the show tomorrow. Don't want to miss it. He's going to be talking through exactly what's going on here in these documents and what it really means. It's a fake world. Do we have the clip? Cool. Let's play it. Okay. Here's them just admitting to it. Oh wow, Benny, maybe you're reading a little too much into these JFK documents. Okay, well, how about this? Let's just have them admitted on camera like 6 months ago. Go.
How did you convince Hezbollah to buy this?
Well, obviously, they didn't know that they were buying it from Israel.
Who did they buy it from, or think they were buying it from?
We have an incredible array of possibilities of creating foreign companies that have no way being traced back to Israel. Shell companies over shell companies who affect the supply chain to our favor. We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers. We're the main actors. The world is our stage.
Oh, okay. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers. We're the actors. Mike Benz, ladies and gentlemen, name dropped, but also here's some of his findings from inside of the JFK documents. Memorandum on political and psychological warfare from the CIA. Oh. Let's see. Let's use radio broadcasting and media controlled by the CIA. Let's control all of the media using the techniques available to the CIA, like covertly directing broadcasting. Let's make sure that we push government principles through CIA policy in the media and activities in the field. CIA radio broadcasting, we'll call it, but we'll disguise it as Cold War reporting. We'll use Voice of America, for instance, as one of our various transmitters, but at what point do we have any limiting principle at all? Nothing, actually. This is CIA in 1953. 1953? Doesn't this sound like what they were doing to censor all of us on the internet? Like just a couple of months ago? Some of these people still exist. It's like Elvis Chan still works inside of the San Francisco field office. He was the guy who was creating all these backdoor wormholes with social media companies to ban people. Like, for instance, my executive producer, ALX, probably banned by Elvis Chan on Twitter. Back when it was known as Twitter. ALX was freed by Elon Musk, but nonetheless, these guys still work at the FBI. Here's the documents from 1953 saying that it's like we're going to control what people say, what they think, and we're going to use the media to do that. Media just move over to social media. Some other big revelations, ladies and gentlemen, from these files. CIA's 1963 Cuba report reveals Castro's inner circle. That inner circle certainly had connections to Oswald, which is very interesting. Given Oswald's known Cuban connections, the timing of this raises serious questions about the intelligence agencies knew in the critical months before Kennedy's death. The secret report came from El Salvador's Revolutionary Council, potentially containing critical information about Cuba's communist leadership during peak World War II tensions. These declassified intelligence states that Castro's inner circle expected an assassination of Kennedy exactly 30 days before Dallas. Yikes. Okay. Well, it seems like everybody knew about this declassification. Everybody knew about the attempt on Kennedy's life, except for maybe John F. Kennedy. Crazy, man. The timing here is a absolute total scrub job. It's incredible, like watching It's incredible watching like sort of the internal workings here because we never get to see stuff like this. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Like there are big reveals here. The major one that I talked about with the Congresswoman is the state within a state of the CIA. Arthur Schlesinger's, he's a historian and a well-respected author, he was tasked with investigating the CIA by JFK. And he came back to JFK like with a pall over his face saying the CIA needs to be scattered to the wind. It's a state within a state. Nobody knows how many political problems are being created by the CIA and clandestine operations. We've never seen this memorandum on why the CIA must be destroyed. Let's just dive into it really quickly. Schlesinger, the contemporary CIA, possesses many of the characteristics of a state within a state. There's no doctrine governing the conduct of this clandestine operation. Schlesinger slammed the idea that the CIA should fight fire with fire to defeat communism. If fighting fire with fire means contracting the freedoms traditionally enjoyed by Americans in order to give more freedom to the CIA, no one seriously wishes to do that. Schlesinger said that the CIA operations have not been held effectively subordinate to U.S. foreign policy. This is in 1961, they're writing this. You could say this today. In short, no one knows how many potential problems U.S. foreign policy or how many political frictions with friendly states are being created at this moment by CIA clandestine intelligence operations. In practice, Schlesinger told JFK that the State Department had become a rubber stamp for CIA clandestine operations. The concept of a contingency planning has been legitimized. The concrete operations still presumably in a hypothetical stage. If a group is assembled and revved up on a contingency basis, then the failure to carry out a project through will invite disappointment and alienation of the group. The CIA has effectively made policy in many parts of the world. Incredible. Mike Pence has been on our show so many times saying this exact same thing. The number of governments still in power know that they have been targets of the CIA attempts to overthrow, not a state in mind calculated to stimulate friendly feelings towards the U.S. Schlesinger recalled that Assistant Secretary of State in Inter-American Affairs, Thomas Mann's reaction to the botched Bay of Pigs invasion. I would never have favored initiating this operation, but since it has gone off as far as it has, I do not think we can risk calling it off. Schlesinger effectively concluded that JFK has to stop CIA operations, otherwise they're going to start World War III. If intelligence is too closely connected with the operations, then those committed to that particular operation will tend to select out the intelligence which validates its own operation. A drastic overhaul of the State Department to rein in CIA clandestine operations is what he recommended. The State Department would be granted general clearance authority over all clandestine operations. Schlesinger also proposed splitting the CIA into two agencies, one clandestine and one paramilitary. This echoes, of course, what General Flynn said on our program about Eisenhower. Eisenhower saying that there is something about the way the CIA has been functioning that is casting a shadow over our historic position. Truman wrote that he set up the CIA streamline information gathering. At times, the intelligence reports tend to be slanted to conform establishment positions of any given department. Many of these leaders at the time were shocked at the operations of the CIA and how they were utterly outside of the bounds of any level of government oversight. And they remain so to this very day. Incredible. The CIA was watching President Kennedy's killer, Lee Harvey Oswald, before he killed. We knew the guy. Remember we played the Ryan Ralph clip? We knew the guy. Now we have no indication, no direct indication that Matthew Thomas Crooks, who shot a bullet through Donald Trump's head, we do not know if Matthew Thomas Crooks was on federal law enforcement radar. We do know that he trained with federal law enforcement, so that's something. But we do know that Ryan Ralph was on the federal government's radar for 20 years, and now we know that Lee Harvey Oswald, before the assassination, was being followed by the CIA. Were they watching? Were they watching one of theirs? That's a question. CIA was watching President Kennedy's killer, Lee Harvey Oswald. Well, I don't know if that's the truth, but let's just go with it. Before the assassination. So they knew him, of course. And they were aware of his trips to Mexico, Cuba, Russia, and so forth. They ignored warnings, and they also hid information. This is something that certainly popped up that I find particularly interesting, which is okay, great, got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have so much to get to, but we're waiting on Owen. Just an update on that. We're waiting on Owen, who's actively yelling at Alex Jones right now. So who knows? We have plenty to talk about. So how about this? And this one goes really deep, and I very much look forward to talking about, we just played you a clip of Israeli intelligence, but I very much look forward to talking to Mike Benz about this tomorrow. How did Israel has nuclear weapons. We teased on the show yesterday that there might be a nuclear component to all of this. And boy, were we right. Man, damn, we got good sources, don't we? Recently unsealed JFK documents include numerous references to Israelis and the Israeli intelligence services, along with counterintelligence chief James Angleton, all marked for redaction. Well, that's interesting. This seems to be the only thing that, in fact, the CIA marked for redaction, so that brings our attention to it. Angleton served as chief CIA counterintelligence from 1954 through Kennedy's assassination, remaining in the position until 1974. Okay. James Angleton, serving as the CIA's liaison to Mossad, played a key role in covering up Israel's illegal nuclear weapons program, which facilitated using stolen American uranium. I guess we're going to have to check all this because I'm not an expert here on the Israeli nuclear program. Israel says we don't have nukes to this very day. That's not true. There are like multiple there's so much evidence that they have nuclear weapons, and also that they've threatened to use nuclear weapons. They threatened to use nuclear weapons to Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon wrote about this publicly, the Israeli leaders. So they're just going to start nuking people. Obviously, you didn't want a nuclear Middle East. You didn't want nuclear proliferation, especially with brand new states, right? And states that have a lot of enemies in every direction. Things could go south quickly, right? Uranium enrichment firm founded in 1957 smuggled materials into Israel. Development of nuclear weapons starting in 1961. Months before his assassination, Kennedy wrote a strongly worded letter to Israeli Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion, demanding international inspections of its nuclear reactor, followed by Kennedy's this followed Kennedy's 1961 directive that American inspections need to go there and investigate and verify that Israel was not developing nuclear weapons. But Israel staged a fake control room. All the world's a stage, right? We're in control. We're the actors. Israel staged a fake control room and dummy installations to conceal its efforts from American scrutiny. After Kennedy's assassination, LBJ allowed Israel to covertly pursue nuclear weapons, halting investigations into the reactor. Now, this is very interesting. This James Angleton is a curious individual. In these documents, you can see that James Angleton regularly lied to the FBI and kept a very tight, close to the chest relationship with various other intel agencies around the world. James Angleton withheld information from federal investigators with regularity and scrubbed reports again and again and again and again. So we're starting to kind of narrow in here. Again, it's like a large phalanx of enemies that JFK was creating. But JFK seemed dead set on stopping nuclear weapons proliferation. This was a huge issue at the time. It remains a huge issue today. And then JFK found himself dead. You make your own conclusions. There are other very interesting things on Fidel Castro and the CIA. Castro on CIA sabotage attempts. Castro, this is well known, but like Castro, there were regular and consistent sabotage attempts to overthrow Fidel Castro. Kind of wish we'd just done it. Cuba's a nightmare. It's a real mess. It's a gorgeous, beautiful island. I really wish that we just, the Castro regime's awful and it sucks. And I live in Florida, and it sucks to have such an evil regime and such it's just a failed state, right? They're just like a third world dictatorship, and they don't have to be. There's actually, like, Cuba used to be America's Las Vegas. Like, Vegas moved to Vegas because Cuba fell. But I'm just saying, like, there was ancient Spanish beauty there. You'll never be able to get it back. There were beautiful cities. There was like a roaring economy. There was real, like, value to having that island in the American hegemony. And I wish they'd just gone and done it. You know what I mean? Like, this is one of those things that this is one of those operations I wish had been successful. They've run that place in the ground. We've gone to Cuba. We've done documentaries in Cuba. It sucks. I feel this because all of our neighbors here in Tampa are Cuban. It's a massive Cuban population here in Tampa. And they're very, very bitter and angry and anti-communist. And that's why Tampa flipped red. It's like the biggest city in the country that flipped red this year. Tampa, where we are, flipping red. Okay, baby. First call between LBJ and CIA. Let's hop into this. What exactly did they talk about? Critical JFK file still secret. Lyndon Baines Johnson CIA call. Cuba never released. Despite Trump's massive JFK document release, one key file remains hidden. Many key files remain hidden, but one of them is a call between LBJ and CIA Director John McCone after the assassination. Experts say that it could expose the CIA's ties to anti-Castro plots and whether Cuba played a role in JFK's death. McCone was accused of hiding incendiary information from the Warren Commission, keeping the CIA's mafia-backed Castro hits secret. Sure. They lied, obviously. JFK Files Church Committee, the secrets remain hidden. Despite the release of the report, details remain redacted under national security restrictions. So the report was classified top secret under multiple restrictions, designated for sensitive intelligence operations. It was stored in a specific national security box in a secured archive with the most sensitive records in the country. The final review before declassification happened in 1999. Large portions are still withheld. Why? This, of course, is a full review of exactly what happened internally after the death of LBJ, looking into the CIA's operations in the JFK assassination, and then on other major CIA covert ops. So what's going on there? Well, we'll let you guess. We'll let you guess. One of them is the... Can you scroll up to the top here? One of them is, of course, the secret CIA-created gun that shoots poison. That shoots a poison dart that is a water molecule that has poison in it from the cuttlefish. That's what he's holding up here. Up to the very top, please. There you go. I saw this. I mean, some of it's just cool. I hate these goblins. These people are demons, but some of it's just freaking cool. This is the CIA dart gun that shoots a why water molecule. Well, it melts, and then there's no evidence of it, and you kill someone. And they're like, "Oh, I died of a cuttlefish. Well, I live in Wisconsin. Who cares? You're dead. You know, like, too bad. Don't mess with the cuttlefish." But they live in the Indo-Pacific Ocean. How'd I die in Wisconsin? Don't care. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Sushi. Okay, got it. Good job, CIA. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. This was what they were trying to withhold from you. It's crazy. Yeah, that's right. We were hoping to find this in the CIA documents. We were hoping. Come on, show me Trudeau. Show me Trudeau and Castro. That's right. Show me the full. That's right. The CIA must know. They must know. Yeah.